am officially a Predecessor shoutcaster. I casted 2 games last Saturday on the 24th in the 3rd annual Fang Draft competitive scene for EU Predecessor. In there I covered 2 games, one being Useless Neff versus Time's Up and the other being Bad Stew versus Page 4. I put both of them in this video below so you don't have to watch it on the VOD, and leave a comment telling me what you guys think about my first ever time casting on a professional event. Hopefully the break wasn't too long for you guys, but hello, welcome back to Fang Draft number 3. My name's Cosmic, with me is Falcon. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty well on this Saturday. I've been enjoying the game so far, watching from the sidelines. I'm very interested to watch them on the cast themselves now. And I mean, first of all, welcome Cosmic to the Fang Draft. This is your first event. How are you finding it?
It is. I'm finding it very cool to be here. Very nerve-wracking though. This is my first time like casting at a pretty well-produced thing. So I'm just trying to get used to it, get my seat warm, and hopefully cast a really good game for you guys.
We shall see. But going onwards, we are going to just do a quick update on the group standings. We are going into round 4 of the group stages. So 3 games have been played. We can see that in Group A, we have a 3-way tie for first. Useless Neft, Chinese Imports, Time's Up are all 3-0, all perfect games so far. And below them, Catastrophe, later objectives have 1 win from themselves. Unfortunately, 120 ping, still trying to get that first victory.
Yeah, and while there's a 3-way lock on Group A, there's a 4-way tie between Bald and Mauled, Obscure, Toto Arena, and Bad Stew. It's very competitive, but also up in the air.
Yeah, that is definitely going to be a lot to play for in Group B, especially. Group A is going to be more about that first seed. Group B is going to be more about who actually makes it through to the semi-finals tomorrow, who locks that second spot in. And we might get some head-to-heads. I'm not entirely sure how that is all going to plan. I'm just here to cast. I don't make the rules here personally, but that is all going to happen. But going on to the match that we will be watching, it is actually going to be in the Group A. There's going to be 2 undefeated teams. It is Useless Neft versus Time's Up.
Yeah, both of these teams are undefeated, like you said before. Very stacked rosters, especially Time's Up with Ven, Empty, Sag, Time's Up himself. But Useless Neft, again, a stacked team with Neft, Conte, Toucan, Elements. This could go pretty much in any direction, but it's definitely going to be on the captains to pull their weight the most, if you ask me. He said, hold on a minute. It's always happening. No, you're fine. You're fine. Here, I'll bring us into this. The head-to-head between Neff and Sagu, both of the carries, 2 of the best in their roles, probably even top 2 if you ask some people. And it's gonna be dependent on them. Neff can play an assortment of carries in the game, but also Sagu too. But mostly the Skylar is what's shared between those two players.
Both players love the Skylar. Skylar is just so strong right now. And it is going to be very interesting to see how the teams want to pick it. Maybe go for the first bans on it as well. There is quite a few other high priority picks that could be played. Kira, we can see on the side. Wraith is always going to be around in that discussion as well. Going on to these actual stats, we can see that both of these carries do a very high amount of damage per minute in for both of these teams. Kills as well, 12 a piece per game. The only real big difference between the side is Neft gets a lot of the money from CS. Sagu, it seems to be more from objectives and kills,
which could be a way better turnout if you ask the random people. Going after objectives is always a thing that players want and should do for sure. And objectives, you ask me, wins games. Hey, I will give up a tower if I get a Fang Tooth or a mini orb, because the impact that has on the game flow and just how many kills that could pop off and just the team fights in general is just game changing.
It definitely is, and that is going to be also quite interesting for the junglers. We obviously head-to-head is going to be the ADCs, but both of the junglers are going to be very impactful as well. We've got Ven on one side, we've got Conte on the other. Both of them, if anyone has ever seen any sort of Fang boost before, or even on the PCC side of things sometimes, then they are going to be familiar with these names. But the way these two players have a different playstyles, Ven more self-centered, more going for that carry, Conte trying to support his team, is going to be a bit different. So it might sow in the draft for both teams as well.
Yeah, the draft thing is going to be very important for sure. Just trying to outpick other people. But the name of the game lately has just been a lot of CC. People like Rictor getting a lot of play, Narbash, Rampage. I'm trying to think of somebody else. I'm blanking right now, but you get the point. CC is important, and if Neft or Sag gets caught out of place, which might or may not happen, who knows, it's gonna be lights out essentially in an instant for them.
Yeah, very strong pick meta at the moment, especially the fact that a lot of teams like to play those bruisers, like to play the likes of the Krang, the Greystone, the Grux as well. So it is going to be very important to make sure that both ADCs have got that perfect positioning in those team fights, because any sort of dive is going to be probably lethal for them.
Yeah, lethal. And then not even talk about the mid laners who can have a big impact. People like Howitzer, who's getting a lot of play recently. The Faye still viable. Bellica. I think of somebody else. Maybe in Wraith. You know, who knows? There might be two ADCs on any one of these teams throwing out long shots from the back. Just a lot of variables that could possibly happen in this upcoming game between these two incredibly competitive teams as the draft is up.
We got Lucius left as that first pick, most likely ties up on the second side. I'm going to be honest, if Wraith gets through these first sets of bans, then I'm going to eat a sop, because I can't imagine it in any sort of scenario being allowed on the likes of a Net, on the likes of a Sagu, because it's just going to be diabolically bad. Well, diabolically good for your own team, diabolically bad for the other.
Yeah, definitely. And we already had the two bans so far, as we have Rampage and Wukong. They do not want to deal with the split pushing monkey, and that is all good for me. He's a well-known ban. They don't want any of the offlaners to have that capability to just destroy a tower instantly. But also Rampage getting picked too, just delaying a big bulk of the team that could possibly have happened so far. He's just a very strong character right now. And there you go, like you said, Skylar is out of there. She just got a rework and she is very strong, but I'm glad that they got her out, because frankly she's way too overtuned right now.
See, it's definitely overtuned, but it's interesting that they useless left Bandit, so they didn't want to first pick it. They didn't want to provide those resources, and I guess I'm eating the salt because Wraith hasn't been banned. This is a very strong first pick if you want to, but they got to go for the Krang instead. Cosmic, we were Watson last game. We saw what Crazy Legend did on this pick, and I can't imagine that Time's Up is very happy seeing this being on the board.
It definitely is a risky play. Now that useless Nef team has Quang, is a lot of CC, but just one of the best bruisers and offlaners in the entirety of Predecessor. I mean, the amount of damage output that Quang can output by not even building a whole lot of power is insane for useless up to have. That's gonna be a game changer for sure, to even know who's gonna go up against that matchup as well. But in the dual lane, excuse me, it is Zinx, who is a very good healer. People very good at keeping people alive, like the team in general, like the jungler or the ADC for sure.
Yeah, it's the neurogenesis as well is such a strong ability. You can use it on yourself, but that really is worst case scenario. You really want to use it on your ADC, your mid lane, whoever has that carry potential. Make sure they gain that HP back, that mana back as well, that they can keep throwing out those abilities. They are spending quite a lot of time. We have got a live draft going on, so they are using the entire time coming up, and well, it was going to be picked. But I mean, we've seen here pick rate 25%, 26% in the last day of scrims or custom games. That's not because it's not very well picked, it's because it's banned all the time.
Yeah, you can't really get picks if you're banned all the time, and it's for a good reason too. Because, like I said before, the knock is such a strong, powerful tool to use, and it's a relatively short cooldown. But uses Neff picks up the Narbash, which definitely is a good healer, good peep at keeping the carry in lane as well. Don't forget the stun and the knock up slow, just bash and clang all over the battlefield. That could happen, as well as they're gonna pick up Crunch, who recently got a sick new skin, by the way, and looking to put on a lot of CC with the trio between Quang, Narbash, and Crunch.
Yeah, this is already looking quite terrifying from the side of Useless Neft, having such a strong front line, having so much CC, how much pick potential coming out from basically everyone. I was not expecting to see this. Times have gone for the gadget. Apparently it has slightly strong pick rate. Wasn't expecting it to see that much play, just because I don't think gadget is the best character at the moment in time. Bans have also gone through immediately. Gideon from Times Up, Zarus and Useless Neft.
Yeah, Gadget, I think Gadget is one of the stronger ones with the Azure Core and just how much magical power that she can stack based on her mana. She can definitely delete people like Crunch in an instant, I feel like. And I think the Tesla Dome as well, coming over the Fangtooth Pit and the mini prop, is going to be a huge play. But Zarus did get banned. Sorry, Zarus, one of my best favorite characters in the game, but he's banned too. But they also, Times Up also gets Grux as well for some extra CC, or just any at all, to pull back into the Tesla Dome to cook them alive.
Uselessness, they had to ban the Zarus. They couldn't give the Colosseum and the Tesla Dome combination over to Times Up. That does leave the Grux up. But what's more interesting for me in the bans, they banned the Gideon, they didn't ban the Kira, which I would assume would be Nest's more comfort character for this pick. Yeah, there we go, picked it up right there. That was going to be kind of obvious for anyone who knows Neft. But the Bellica as well, that's going to be a very oppressive dual lane. That double ADC, that double poke into that Seismic Assault can transform into a kill lane. And Zinx's, sorry, it's going to be a Bellica mid, sorry, I forgot about the Narbash. But even still, that's going to be a pretty strong lane with the Kira. Narbash have that sustain, have that poke from the Kira, and compared to the sustain of a Narbash, Zinx isn't that strong. She's more of a aggressive type support, trying to get that stun, trying to get that poke, and I don't think it's going to really work out that well with the duo.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough battle for sure. That might be a Steel offlane with a 50% pick rate. Steel's been resurging lately, and it's because all the tank items being pretty much so useful to have. There's a lot of CC, which Times Up definitely needs. Useless Neft has a ton of crowd control and much needed damage as well. We got Bellic, who could probably build to ADC. We got Kira, Crunch with the constant cycle of abilities, stuff like that. Narbash with the Thunk and Stun, Quang with the Root. There's so much over there on Useless Neft, but Times Up definitely has a chance at this with 2 CC options with Steel and Grux, but also the very distant damage dealers like Gadget and Wraith.
And the fact that Times Up's damage is mostly burst in this phase is going to be quite strong against Narbash, who is stronger into those sustained types of comps. Your healing is going to be powerful, yes, but not against the fact that you're going to get 0 to 100 in half a second or so. Plus the fact that Zinx has gone along with this Wraith, this Gadget, who are those long range picks, keep them alive as long as they can to allow this Steel to come and save them, is going to be rather strong as well. However, against a Crunch dive, I don't know. It doesn't fill me with confidence, Cosmic.
Yeah, the team fights are gonna be rough for sure. Just anybody out of place, anybody out of line, you know, they're gonna get jumped on, and there's so much dive on the team that it's gonna be very problematic. But the game is here, and we are getting ready to go into it. And you just if you look at the map already, they got the Steel and Grux running in, make sure that they ward to sign off any possible early ganks that's gonna happen. I'm ready to get into this, man.
It's going to be very interesting. We can see that it is the Steel on the off lane. You're then piloting the Grux. This is probably the better option of the two. You're not going to be doing too much into a Krang anyway, as a Grux just allows Steel to survive in that off lane against the Krang in this early game, especially the fact that Krang is just going to outdamage him in that moment. And we also have the Lee Sin starting. We have got Elements and Drakadadan helping Conte try and kill this red as fast as possible. No such luck from Times Up. Ven is going to have to deal with it on his own, but Grux's damage in the early game is going to make that not too much of a challenge.
Yeah, he doesn't really need the leash, but trying to get Conte up to get to level 6 as fast as possible is definitely going to be a must for the team's success for sure. Really, it just all depends on how well they play, what kind of pace they want to play. Does Useless Neff want to play slow and then pick up the pace later on in the game? Or do they want to just rush at it, get to level 6 fast as possible, start winning team fights, and get the ball rolling? It could be either or, really.
It could be either or, but most likely the win con is going to be around Neff, going to be around this Kira, so they want to just make sure this Kira is nice and safe to farm up, get as much farm and items as you can, and then into the mid lane. Let Neff do Neff things, as we always say. Especially the fact that Conte and Neff are playing together. They are playing on a team normally together as well, so there's going to be quite a lot of synergy already, which we don't normally see in the likes of a draft league. So I can imagine that Conte is probably going to be over here quite a few times. We're going to have to see if Ben wants to try and counter that somewhere else, maybe in the off lane or mid, or instead to try and match Conte.
Yeah, I think the what matters the most in these draft leagues, or just in any kind of predecessor MOBA competitive scene, is just chemistry. And the chemistry, like you said, with Neff and Conte is going to be huge, and also just game. The whole entire game is going to depend on that synergy, like you said. If they are off even like a little bit, it could throw the team off. But also, if they are together, they are as one, they are combined, they are as powerful as any two players can be, like Dwayne Wade and LeBron James, for y'all Americans who might know what I'm talking about.
I am not American, so I do not know what you're talking about, but I do know Predecessor, and I know that 3 minutes is coming up. Those 3 of us are going to be secured both by the mid laners. Junglers not looking for any advantage, but look where Conte is. He's in the enemy jungle. He's coming around behind. He's going to dodge the ward. Time's up. They don't know he's here.
And that is an engage trying to take out the support first. And already it's a first blood. Neff gets the kill, securing it to try and put him over for the rest of the game. Wow, early on, we have another gank in middle. Then try to take out Elements with Empty. He barely gets out alive. I'm surprised that it actually worked out. But this the one kill on duel from Neff is going to put him over for sure.
Tracking it down, it's taking a bit of down some times up to having that thing. And we can see that Ben is still looking around. But Elements, he didn't use to blink. That's the most important part. The CC was not taken pretty well. The snatching up is going to connect. It's knock up is going to go through. Elements forced to blink away. Empty not in a position to really help. But that's a good counter gank from Ven in the mid lane. However, it's not a kill. It's not the first blood. And we were saying Conte is going to be around Neff. That is going to be the win con. They already have first blood on this Kira. They already have the ball rolling. So in this early game, Useless Neff, I mean, the name, I'm going to keep saying it because it is their name, but Neff is not useless by any means, at least in game.
Yeah, Neff is honestly the opposite of useless. This might be the main character of these games. If he is having a good game, the team is probably winning. But yeah, that mid lane skirmish definitely is something to look out for, as he rotated, ganked, did get the kill, but he stuck around. That's like the most important thing. He stuck around to try to actually secure that for Empty in the mid lane, which it did not happen on Elements whatsoever. And that's going to be something to look out for, especially when objectives pop up.
That's the importance of not blinking by accident or by panic. Elements knew he had enough HP. The CC wasn't used correctly. The Tesla Gate as well as Master Grab used at the same time. So he was able to walk away. Then he had to blink for the second gank. Now, Fangtooth has spawned 5 minutes on the clock. We have got Conte nearby. Neff and Tutant has got pretty much cool control over this duo. Then once again is going for the mid lane.
Yeah, he's going for the mid lane like a shark seeing blood in the water. He's gonna try and take out Elements, but I think Elements is caught off guard. There's a blink from Empty to try, and there's the smash and grab. There's the stun, the knock of Elements. There's nowhere for him to go. This is pretty much a GG. Just stay still. Oh, help is coming from Conte. Oh my goodness. Elements actually survived that. We got a team fight, and there's a blink from Ven, but I think it's too late. The Seismic Assault drops, and out goes Ven into the Shadow Realm. Goodbye.
I mean, Fangtooth is up. They have got a jungler. 10 seconds, though. I'm not entirely sure if they want to go for it. They are going to go and start it. They should be able to secure this pretty easily. No one on the side of Time's Up is nearby to stop it. And I don't. Okay, I like the repeat gank. The repeat gank is perfect. That's what you want to do, especially if you blow a blink in the early game. The problem is, Empty uses blink himself, got the Tesla Gate onto the route for the side of Time's Up, but then Ven smashed and grabbed him back towards safety. He was closer to his team after that knockup sequence, so that meant he was able to survive. He was able to walk away from the auto attacks and to survive. If he didn't do that, if he just used the knockup on the rooted target, he probably would have got the kill, and that would not have happened.
Franco, that's what we call unfortunate in my area. It's just like, how could you, who would have thought that Elements had enough health to live throughout that entire matchup, to go to his team who was rotating perfectly, meet up with them, and turn the fight around for a Fangtooth? That's probably one of the first things I've ever seen. But we have a mid-lane skirmish with Empty, him almost dying, but there's Ven pushing out a blink on Tut, but the pull from down south, there's a rewind too, and here comes Conte taking out his frustration on Ven, trying to get a possible pick. Elvis is down for the count for sure, and the whole team is here rotating over from dual lane, and we're just gonna retreat and try to regroup.
Time's Up, they had the rotation coming in for the side of the mini fight. Jack and Dan also killing Time Up in the back line, so that's going to be a 1-for-1 in the end, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get out. The blink is going to be followed through. Smash and grab is going to miss. Conte has returned.
Welcome back, Conte, for round 2. It's time to start punching people, or just to get the team out. Either or is just a good spot, but a kill would be much preferred for the team. It's already 3-1. Uses Neff is up, and they're trying to even the score. Ven is down. Neff is over here trying to get some more assistant kills. It all goes to a good place to him getting ahead in the game.
Time Up has returned to the solo lane. They can't go for the mini farm. They haven't really got the H3 mana on Conte to go for the secure, but they have got enough farm here to let them continue to farm up as they would want to. Time Up is going to be able to at least collect this wave, but he's not going to be able to do much more. They might lose 1 or 2 plates as well, especially the fact that they used the sealed wall early. But instead, Jack and Dan has returned to the solo lane. They're probably just going to pick up the sign, maybe reset afterwards, get that Lightning Hawk, and then return to duo.
Yeah, you saw Neff getting the cyan cam, something that you don't see often, but if the opportunity is there, then why not take it? They're going to teleport over to dual lane with Conte to try and take off Sag and Zinx there, and Zinx is out of place. No blink. It is just GG's. He actually waited for Neff to get the final blow, because once again, like I said in the preview, if Neff is up, this game is going to be tough for Time's Up, and their time is slowly but surely running out, as it is 5-1.
Using the map, at least knowing that the jungler is on the dual lane, this is going to be the mini fight picked up for the side of Time's Up. Going to be given over to Ven. Jack and Dan looking around, not really having any sort of viability nearby. But I mean, Ven, he's 0-2. He's got that Skysplitter online, but he's got no tanky items. He can't really survive walking into the side of useless Neff right now. So he needs probably another item before he can be an actual frontline instead of just trying to be a would-be assassin. Now Conte back up over in solo lane,
trying to take out Time Up, and it's gonna be a tough one. There's the blink, but he's not really going anywhere. There's the thunder, bringing the thunder in, but there is Ven in a great slam.
The bait.
Oh, and it's honestly a very close matchup, as it was once for Conte. It is now a situation where he has to just run for his dear life, and that is a team fight that just turned sour super fast.
But Time Up, he's left on his own. The rest of the team didn't go and help him. Ven eventually takes down Conte. I have no idea how he did that, but it is a 1-for-1 at the end of the day. Elements picking up another kill for I don't know if it's another kill, but at least a kill for this Velicus. 6-2 in kills for useless Neff now. Empty getting hit by the seismic, going to have a lot of damage taken from the drone and the void bomb as well. Is going to be able to walk away thanks to the Tesla gate. Now Ven not stopping ganking.
He's not stopping ganking. He's trying to go for Neff. He knows he's up, but Tutu with the smash claim
rewind
and the rewind. Oh, but Neff he got a blink though. He saved it perfectly, but he's not escaping this for nothing. Sag gets to clean up after it. Dan is rotating over from left lane. It's a big skirmish. Conte's here too. Elvis is here. It's a good old-fashioned bloodbath as they're waiting out for the time for the regeneration to pop, and down goes Sag. The team is dropping like flies, but they're going to trade 2-2 in this matchup right here.
2-2. Ven is still alive. That's the important part. Still has the mini prime. Still has the ability to look if Useless Net starts this Fang Tooth, which they are, Conte, Elements, the only 2 people here. We have got all members of Times Up here if they want to, but they haven't got the timers. The death timers are still going through, only just respawn now, but we can see on the map, Neft and Teuton are going to be here on the screen right now. So this is going to be given up. Second Fang Tooth given over to Useless Net, giving them that Fang Tooth point roughly 16-17 minutes into this game. We'll be setting up nicely for the Orb Prime. Time's up. They cannot allow Useless Neff to get that.
Yeah, Nev may have gotten taken down, but the team got the victory, and that's really all that matters. You know, yes, Nev is the person who has the card during this game, probably. Oh my God, Vengeance will not let go of this dual lane. He knows he has to go after, but the game is unsuccessful. They see him coming a mile away, and that's what really is going to keep them in line. Ven is definitely trying to put Neff under, but as long as the wards are up, as a team thing, by the way, team thing is to put wards up, it's going to be pretty safe over there.
Yeah, it's going to have a lot of survivability as long as they know Ben is coming. Crux is pretty strong once he gets in your face, but he needs to actually get there in the first place. So it's not always the easiest thing, just the poke coming in from Neft. If you think knock is bad, just wait for Kyo to auto you into a Mercy U, and it is just going to be not a fun time. Now, back to the solo lane where many things have happened, not much we've watched. Jackie-chan is a little up on time up, picks up the sign buff, and the fighting will continue, not doing much though.
Yeah, they're just 2 bruisers who, it's like a immovable object versus an invincible, whatever the saying is. But forget the saying, Neft is gone. He's gone for the count. As Vin just, like I said, he will not let him go. He knows he's making it. And the rewind pops off and just stands still at this point. The blink is up. Is he actually going to get away? I am honestly perplexed. He's trying to go to the middle, but with Empty gone, thanks to Conte, he's going to come to the team and they're going to help him out get away successfully. But I can't say the same thing about Neft.
I mean, Time Up also dies directly to Dan in the solo lane in a 1v1. This Krang is 3-0 and 3 quietly, just gotten so much control in this solo lane. We didn't see how that fight started or happened, but I mean, overall, even though they took out Neft, they lost out on the map. They went 2 kills down. They lost MT in the mid. They lost the Time Up in the duo as well. Neft is returning. Doesn't care about the minions.
Oh my goodness! Kills. Conte dove on Ziggs, but they're still alive, but the regeneration is at least down, which could mean a good thing for any possible, you know, re-ganking in the future for Conte on this dual lane to get sagged down some more. Wow, I can't believe he just dove that just now. You don't see that a lot in these competitive scenes.
He has the damage, he has the HP, and there's not much really stopping him in that dual lane. So that is going to be both blinks down for Times Up for this third Fang Tooth as well. So their positioning is going to be even more important then. Back doing his thing, looking towards the solo lane. Jackie Dando at this moment in time isn't really a target you can go for. He hasn't got any armor, has built that Flux Matrix after the Magnify, but again, it's just too much HP on this Krang.
Too much HP on the Quang. He doesn't have a lot of damage, but he sure hurts. But there's the balance up on time that they're trying to get a pick, maybe for mini prom for sure. There's the pull. Conte is stuck, but he has to dash out. The Tesla Dome is down. They're all scattering like flies, and everybody just gets out pretty much scot-free. Some ultimates may be down, but the fight is gonna for sure continue on mini prime.
And Neft is over here as well, uses the Warp Gate. He's probably going to just go for the tier 1 tower. He doesn't need to help the people at mini prime. Isn't going to be there in time to actually pick it up himself. Instead, he goes over to Conte. They are going to lose probably the tier 1 in dual lane. Might lose the tier 1 in mid lane as well, but Ben is not going to get caught out. The minions are going to take it. No one is going to be picked up on the side of Useless Neft either. It's going to be 2 for 1 in terms of towers. The time's up, but the mini prime is in play.
Damn, just beating up on Time Up. It's been the play of the game, really. Well, not play, the moments of the game. Just the off lane is just fine and secure. He doesn't really need ganks. That's probably why Conte hasn't been going over there more than he should. He really wants to focus on mid lane being fine, which is not fine right now. The tower is gone. But also make sure that Neft is still somewhat in XP range, kill range, CS range. But you know, CS is never a problem with Neft.
I think the problem with Time's Up right now is, yes, they're doing so much to keep Neft down, but the rest of Useless Neft are doing pretty well. I mean, Jackie the Dan is are going to be a monster in these team fights. The Bellic is going to be able to one-shot people as well. Elements has done pretty good in that mid lane against Empty. So even though you know the main focus of Useless Neft, the rest of the players are stepping up. They are going to be strong enough to fight in these team fights, even if you take out this Kira. So they need to be so careful.
Careful indeed what they have, and the entirety of Useless Nef has been pushed out of Fang2 for sure. And as fight starts, it begins right now, starting with time's up. Who's probably the weakest one here, being has been dominant so long. He slams out of there, but they just want him so bad. Oh, he actually blinked out of there too. He gets completely free. Never mind, Nef with the dust to confirm the kill, but then it's by himself. He flashes out with the Tesla Dome. The Tesla Dome is too much. He gets microwaved. He is now a well-done robot. And the rest of the team is really falling. Down goes Dan, who was up initially. The team fight potential is happening for time's up, and maybe they're trying to rewind the clock back into the lead for sure.
I still have Elements, still have Neft, they still have damage, but they got some CC. Ben jumping in, blinks onto Elements. Flashing grab, it's going to connect.
Pulling Elements back into it. Neft is here with the Darkness Assault, but no one really died from it. It is just Neft and Narbash, and they're trying to fight because there's a way that this could work out for them. But it's just so far between that any notable damage. Oh my goodness! Time's up! Where did you come from downtown? Getting the kill, wiping almost everybody on the team.
The Blast Flower from downtown, his home jungle, catching behind. No one was aware that the steal was going to be back. No one can start the Fangtooth though, because so many HPs were low. Time Up is going to be back, but Dracula Dan and Conte are still around. I don't know how Time's Up won that. They had lost their steal, they lost a Neurogenesis at the start, yet Conte just walked into multiple members, let Ben just murder him, and then the Tesla Dome separated the entire team, went on so many people. And now this Fangtooth has been started. Time's Up have got the lead. I don't know if they can secure this. They're still in the game.
Yeah, look, go after Zace to make sure that there is no revive in there, and she is down as well. But the Time's Up crew, they're ready for another fight. They're ready for it. They're going after Dan, who is definitely up, and they're trying to keep him alive. But Nef is going back in. He's got a 1 kill on Time's Up, trying to make sure to get fed, to push the tempo for sure back. Pushing back Time's Up, and they went from losing that team fight just now to coming back and winning it, and they have just secured the Fangtooth for the team, making it 3-0.
Ben is nearby. He's not going to get anywhere close by the time this gets to 1,000 HP. He's going to be taken down. Okay, I thought for a second that went badly because there was no slay, but it is going to be secured. That's going to be the third Fangtooth. Empty is playing dangerously, but no one from side Useless Neft is going to be around. And the problem is, Time's Up, they just spent too long resetting. They spent too long trying to get out HP, trying to go for a perfect time. It allowed the rest of Useless Neft to get back after those death timers, and it didn't give them enough time to actually focus it down. They went for the team fight. It wasn't successful. And now, Useless Neft, after losing the team fights, have got that third Fangtooth, have got that position to go for this Orb 5 in 15 seconds.
We made a point before the match started that Useless Neft has the CC, but Time's Up has the burst damage. We're 19 minutes into the game. I think we are seeing a convergence on that thought process to where Time's Up, they're outputting so much more damage than Neft can, like the Useless Neft team can put out with their CC, that is starting to turn in the favor for them.
Now we got a grouping up from Useless Neft to go and look for this last tier 1 tower. There's still two tier 1 towers up for Time's Up, but this is probably going to go down very quickly. We see that Time's Up. Okay, they were looking. They're just going to go for it. Warlord's challenge used. Tesla don't use. Conte is on the other side of the map. There is 4 members of Useless Neft over here. You only got Jack and the Dan, which is being stalled by Time's Up. We're going to have Useless Neft running over here. It's going to be a run against time for Time's Up. They're going to have to give it up because they don't have the damage.
They don't have the damage, but they successfully push them out of the orb, which is probably the goal anyway. So that's for them to do that.
No.
Neft is risking for the biscuit, getting a kill off of Empty so that they can take this middle tower. And I love how you say you brought up now based on the T1s, and now they're completely gone. They're obliterated. They're down and out.
20 minutes on the timer. That is not going to survive for any time. I do like the attempt. I do like how they knew that that was going to be a opportunity, but just not having the damage, not having any of those carries over there means that they weren't able to get even close to the damage. And Gadget isn't the best taker of those objectives, hasn't really got that consistent damage like the likes of a Gideon or a Howitzer has for those Orb Prime, those Fangtooths. So now they have to reset. Now they have to wait for Empty to get back, have that the Gadget, who is going to be continuing to stack it up, continually getting stronger, getting that more magical power from the passive. And I think that's going to be kind of like saving grace if they can get this game going long enough. Their scaling is very, very good compared to the size of the user Sneft, but they have to make it.
They do have to make it, but let's not forget also that Elements is building a very strong build. He has Megacosm, he has Wraith Leggings, he's getting the magical power up for Bellica, which can be very problematic for the team with the bound, with the Seismic Assault, with the Void Bomb. Just a lot of damage output as well, but don't forget level 3 on the Ultima, on Disruptor, can definitely go crazy late game. So it's got something to watch out for that for sure.
Sagu just being out of position, uses that invincibility, does get out in time. Empty, not so lucky, going down so low, probably only needs one more auto, hits the Mercy. That's going to be an auto attack to kill the Mage of Time's Up. And we got Sagu so low as well. The healing from Narbas should be enough to keep him sustained. Time's Up, free man!
Slam Dunk is activated and down, but Time's Up has to back out immediately. That did not go the way that he thought it was, as Sagu is killed off screen from Neft, and that's pretty much a free Orb Prime.
That should be in free Orb Prime. Ben is still alive. There's always the possibility, but he's in base. Time Up is going to be looking around the outside. Anjip is also just trying to shoot as what he can, but its healing come from Teuton is going to be more than enough to keep the useless Neft sustained up. And once this goes down, it's only going to be about 10 seconds or so before that Primal does spawn. That is going to be the Orb Prime secured. That's the first objective down. Probably going to go for a reset now from the side of Useless Neft. Go towards that Fang to get that double buff, and then that is going to be when they really push this game.
Yeah, you just saw that Dan trying to take out Ven. That'll be a great pick. Again, that'll be another free objective for Useless Neft. They were making a comeback. Time's Up. They were making a comeback, and now it's just starting to get away from them. The momentum they just had is starting to go away slowly but surely as we set up for this Fangtooth team fight, which is like much needed. But the problem is though, do you really want to fight this up Neft team with Orb Prime at the Fangtooth? This could essentially maybe be game over after this one fight right here.
It could be. I don't think they're even going to get the chance. No,
oh my
just
goodness.
Walking through. Sago down already. We're going to have Time Up going low as well. Just 3 more autos.
Slam
Dunk.
Dunk.
It's going to be here. Double kill.
The whole team is diving the tower. They're looking to get everybody the regeneration, but for what? Oh, he got no. He doesn't get out. It is a quadra kill from Neft. He is up. There's the 12 average kills, and that's going to be game changing.
Penta, come on, Penta.
Penta, come on, give it to him. He's trying to get him. They're just diving empty. He's trying to stay alive as much as possible. He gets revived in a blink, is down. Oh, and that is the ace right there.
It is technically a pentakill. It doesn't come up on screen, but now got all 5 kills. He sacrificed his life for it, but that is worth on every single scale. You don't need the final bounties. You have all 5. There is no one left alive. Sagu's going to try and do anything he can, but it does not matter. In 25 minutes, Useless Neft takes the core.
Yeah, wow. Neft performing as well as we predicted. Just oh wow, that last team fight was so explosive. While Time's Up definitely made strides to come back, as we saw during that the Fangtooth, what was the third or second one? I forget which one. But they made efforts to put in the work to come back, and it was like a 3-kill difference. But Neft, man, you can't keep that man down for sure.
Kiro is just such a strong character at this point. As you get the likes of a Neft on that character and get those resets going, it is going to be game over. But I mean, all of Useless Neft played really well. They had basically winning in every single lane, and apart from that third Fangtooth team fight, which honestly was mainly their fault going too aggressive and then getting punished for that, they were in control the entirety of that game. There wasn't really much positioning timings for times up to actually come back to it, but we are just going to see the head-to-head from the captains here. We can just see overall just see there's not too much difference in terms of the actual farm, but when you look at I believe these might be swapped over, actually. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll just get confirmation on that, because I don't imagine that Times Up had more gold per minute than Useless Neft.
Yeah, if they did, it sure didn't feel like they had more gold using Neft. Or, like I said, gold maybe isn't everything. Maybe it's just the XP or just the CS gained. But just could not put them down for long enough, really. While they made efforts to target Neft, it was also to no avail. They would kill him, sure, but afterwards the whole team fight would just go left in favor of Useless Neft's team, even though he was down.
It's just not much you could have really done. And I mean, what do you say? You try and put down the main person that you know is going to be having the issue, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't get to the point. And I mean, both of these teams were undefeated before they're going into this. It's not like Times Up is the bottom of the group. They are going to be in contention for that top 2 now. But with this win, I do think that Useless Neft pretty much secures that first seed.
It's secured, but it's not confirmed. We still got a whole lot more games to go today and tomorrow. There's still time for a little wiggle room, or just a shake-up to happen. There's like a whole 4-way tie of second play of 2 wins for Group B and a 3-way tie in Group A. But dang, man, it was competitive, and that's why I like to see, honestly.
Yeah, and just going over to our MVP for this game, I don't think there's going to be too much contention.
Not
any
really.
contention, maybe a little bit, but it is going to be over there. I'm just going to wait for the screen to come over. Surprise, it was Neft. Who would have guessed that? Getting that pentakill at the end, 1,200 downs a minute, 156 player score from Omeda. I mean, apart from dying in a few ganks at the start to then, which was warranted considering the amount of attention he had on him, basically a textbook play of how to play Kira in the current meta.
Yeah, like I said, how to play an AC. It's all about positioning, and Neft positioned himself well enough on that entire game. While yes, he did die, it wasn't really consequential to the game flow because they would just win the fight anyway. But I can't get over the hope I actually had for Times Up to bring it back. It was there, man. You can't tell me that it wasn't. It was a possibility, but Useless Neft was not useless that game. He was actually the main character.
He certainly was, but we'll have to see if he continues doing that. We are going to go to a quick break. Hopefully a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Go to a toilet. Go and get a drink. Whatever you want to do.
Popcorn,
but
chicken,
please,
yeah.
Whatever you want. But please come back, because we've got another game coming up. We've got Group B coming up, and it's going to be hopefully another banger.
Welcome back, everybody. Hopefully the break wasn't too long. It's me, Cosmic, and with me is Falcon, just getting out of the game with Neft and team versus Times Up, and it was a great game, man. It was, like I said, the hope that I had mid-game was up, but Neft and crew cleaned up for sure. Well, we got another game right now. Bad Stew versus Page 4. Sorry, Falcon.
No, that's totally fine, but I was going to say, that was last game. Let's go into the present. Let's watch another banger. Let's go and see what Group B has to offer. And with both of these teams, it is going to be rather interesting. I'm not entirely sure what their current record is. I believe Bad Stew has got 2 wins. Page 4 is on either 0 and 1. Apologies, my memory is terrible. But the actual rosters are very interesting, both sides. Page 4, very NA based. Mercy being the captain, maybe he's going a bit biased on what he wanted to go for. I believe that B certified, ATG, Sneaky, and Mongo all NA. Yeah,
Page 4 is looking for their first win. Bad Stew out of 2 wins Well, bet 2 or 1 wins. I forget 2 as well. We're both forgetful right now. But it's going to be a battle of just who can get momentum to head into the rest of the games for sure. I'm not really well versed into some of these names, but I do name a name that I recognize is Manq playing support. Maybe, who knows? But I just know he's like the stand-up player for me at least. And on the other team with page 4 is Mercy, the jungler. It's gonna be a very objective-based game if you ask me.
Every single one it is, but yeah, Mercy from Leftovers, current PCC champions. Current PCC champion, so very strong jungler. Manq has been basically everywhere, done everything in EU, and there's quite a few other names that are very important. Calipito, I believe, has won a Brotherhood draft league before, so he's actually very successful in these types of leagues. Brandon Knight is a very strong mid laner in EU as well, plus Kant and Whopper have been part of Fang Boost in previously, so they have got competitive experience. Einig Smart, Einfax. I'm not going to say that because I am very bad at German or whatever that language is, so apologies on that. But Smart is a bit of an unknown for me. I believe they are the sub, but it'd be interesting to see if they do a play. Page 4 though, it's a bit more of a question mark, especially the fact they haven't won a game yet. They really have to win this to have any chance of actually staying in the banging booth here.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be problematic for page 4 if they don't pick up a win today. I'm not sure that actually puts them out or not, but they're gonna be down a whole lot. Especially in Group B, where it's so competitive for second place. Everybody's tied up essentially. It can go either or. Page 4 needs to get on the right page and get it together this time around for sure. But Bad Stu does not want to fall behind either. They want to catch a win as well. It's gonna be a tough game and a much needed W.
Yeah, but let's go on to the draft, because that is going to be where a lot of these questions are going to be answered. What is going to be the priority? What is going to be banned away? Bad Stu has the first pick. They have that first ban. So it is going to be a case of what do page 4, what do they not want Bad Stu to get? Which I'm going to imagine is probably going to include Wukong.
Wukong is a strong, like I said before, Wukong is a strong offlaner that just letting him roam free and just push a lane is problematic. We see that Bad Stu, they banned Rampage. He's getting no play today whatsoever. And then page 4 banning Greystone, two very tanky bruisery characters who don't on essentially do crazy things, but they end up just doing a similar amount of damage, and it just takes a lot of punishment as well.
I'm going to say Zara's included on that. That's going to be 3 bruises already. I was just going to say, is there going to be the 4th? Is there going to be that Wukong being banned? There's a few other things. Wraith is going to be banned. So 2 things. First of all, Krang is on the board. Krang has been instrumental in the last few games. Wukong is also on the board. Which one does Bad Stu want? Because it's going to be one of those 2. It could be something completely out of left field. I don't know, because I've been terrible apparently with these predictions, but I imagine it's going to be the Krang or the Wukong here.
Yeah, you've been a little bit off, but I think for Bad Stu, if they want any kind of character, they would go for the Quang. We've seen Quang bully Wukong before in these competitive games. It's not a diff. It's just really hard to get up on a Quang. He's such a big bruiser with massive damage, and just, there's a Wukong. They choose Wukong, excuse me. Wukong with a 48% pick win rate, excuse me, but a 26% pick rate. Not very much pick, but when he's picked, he kind of just wins those.
He does win a lot, especially, I mean, the win rate doesn't show that, but he has got a very strong presence. Could be jungle, could be off lane, but page 4, they pick up the Crunch and the Krang. That is what we saw from Useless Neff's last game. It worked really well as a pairing, so I don't imagine that page 4 is very disappointed in losing Wukong for those 2 picks. Skylar also picked up, was banned last game, we didn't see it, so it's going to be the ADC for Bad Stu. Narbas is going to support him, and that is going to be a very strong dual lane coming in from the side of Bad Stu already.
Yeah, Skylar is a very overtuned character right now. Paired up with Narbash, who can keep her sustained, stun and slow the enemies, just making her hit her abilities and base attacks just a whole lot more easier. Page 4 getting the Morn, and you got excited for that one. You like Morn that much?
I'm very excited. Morn, I don't know why, but I think Morn is incredibly busted right now. He is, for some reason, so strong in terms of his base stats. He's very tanky with just no items, has a great CC, great peel. So page 4, they can just send the Krang in and Crunch to dive. They can just keep the Morn by the backliners, and Wukong, as soon as he walks out, gets taunted and just gets deleted. So I love that pick coming out from page 4. It's going to ban the Argus away, which is rather interesting considering they haven't picked up a mid laner themselves yet. But I'd imagine Bad Stew's probably going to ban some sort of ADC away. Twin Blast is going to be the pick. Kira, I would have preferred, honestly, or Murdoch. Twin Blast I don't think is as strong as those two picks. But, I mean, it might be something that Page 4 prefers in terms of their carry.
Yeah, a very interesting pick to ban Twin Blast. He is strong in this latest patch, but people like Kira's on the board, Revenant, Murdoch, Drongo, who has recently got a super huge buff on his shrapnel cannon. They're all up to get picked, and they could go either or. There's a lot of potential on either one of these teams, but there's the gadget pick for page 4 again, trying to provide CC. I can just see it right now. I can see Crunch diving in with Quang, tethering, uppercutting, the Tesla's thumbs down, Morn mesmerizing them into it. They might be literally cooked this time around.
I wasn't impressed by Gadget last time. I wasn't impressed even with MT playing it. I don't think I'm going to be impressed with the Gadget in this team composition. I don't think there's enough real... I mean, there's a lot of lockdown from the side of page 4, but there's no real containment. There's no real way to keep people from moving away for a test of them to do its work. I would much prefer the likes of a Gideon, the likes of a Howitzer, who can just rain on a target that has been CC'd. So I just don't really agree with it. Bad Stew finished in the composition out. They got that Aurora, they got that Iggy. Iggy, probably going to be in mid lane. Wild guess there, but I'm going to assume that's where it is. Aurora and Wukong, they can switch. One of them can, they could both be off lane. They could both be jungle. So there is still this flex potential in Badge 2 that Page 4 can't really account for it. They have already got both of those picks though. They have to pick their ADC, which I guess is just going to be...
Oh!
As you were saying earlier, Drongo has been buffed. It is a very strong character, especially with the silence. Pair that silence over the top of like a Krang Tether, a Morn silence is going to be very strong against the likes of a Wukong, the likes of Aurora. I do like the pickup. I am worried about the amount of damage Page 4 has. I don't think it's that much in terms of the backline, so they could suffer in the late game.
Yeah, the Page 4's damage is there. Drongo with his buff, Gadget probably building a Zora core, making cost them, a lot of health-based, mana-based damage. But I can't help but look at Bad Stew and think this is kind of crazy. You got Sky with the damage, Wukong with the mobility, Narbatch is slowing the enemies, Aurora is slowing, rooting, Iggy is just chucking Molotovs in the back, setting up his turrets, causing people to turn on fire. It's looking like an icy hot pack over there.
It certainly is. He's just laughing. That's what his job is. He laughs at the enemy whilst spewing fire and inferno towards the enemy. It is going to be interesting. 2 very different team compositions. Page 4 going for that more team fighty esque style. Bad Stew trying to go for more of a pick that sustain, try and get that lane victory in the early game. So it's going to be interesting to see which side goes for it. I'm not going to pick a favorite. You can in chat. Hopefully there's going to be a prediction from a lovely mod in a moment, so put your theoretical points to the test. But Cosmic, are you ready for the game?
I'm so ready to get into this. I'm hyped. I'm ready.
Let's have a look. Bad Stew versus Page 4 of Group B. This is going to be a very important game, especially for the side of Page 4. I love this cinematic appearance. We can't see anyone on the map, but that is going to be changing right now. And we do have, it is going to be the Aurora in the solo. Calipito is going to be piloting the Wukong in the jungle. This is the first jungle Wukong we have seen on stream. We saw Jax play it earlier on the off lane, but this is going to be a very different beast.
Very different, but it's essentially gonna be the same. He's gonna clear through all of his jungle camps very fast, thanks to his clones. And Mercy's getting a leech to get them started with Crunch, using the skin. Oh, I love that so much. But yeah, they're both trying to just get their jungle started, which is going to be very detrimental to how the game is going to be played. We got Certified and Smart in the off lane. Aurora vs Quang, a very even, or yeah, I think it's an even matchup if you ask me. Both with sustain, both with magical power, and that's going to be something that we have to watch out for.
I do think Krang has the advantage overall, has got that stronger burst potential with hitting that tether. I believe that is going to be Grand Knight in the mid lane against Monga. So that is going to be rather interesting. I think it's going to be a bit boring overall in the early game. It's just going to be a case of farming up, trying to do as much as we can. It's going to be more of these junglers trying to interact with these lanes that will cause that chaos. Both, I mean, dual lane, both have sustain as well. So that's not going to be very interesting either. Already though, Mercy going for the first gank.
Level 3 gank for Mercy, but it can just get out of there for sure. Never mind. He doesn't actually back. He didn't think he was going to commit that hard, but there is Calypto trying to help out.
What the?
But it doesn't. Yeah, I'm confused just as much as you are, Falcon. This is going to be a very early fight. Oh, Mercy. Oh, Mercy. He lived for it more than I thought. But he's taken down by Calypto. But Manga's there to help out, clear it up. 2-1. Very chaotic early game.
A very chaotic early game. Patrol comes out with the advantage, gets the first blood bonus as well. Mancu trying to get over there to help the rest of the team. A bit too late, didn't really have anything available either, just being level 2, having to heal, having the funk, not really able to make the Iggy or the Wukong survive. And that is going to be an advantage towards Mercy as well. Gets an extra kill, means that Wukong isn't able to farm as effectively, is going to reset himself because of his low HP bar, and is because he died. That's not the low HP bar, is because he died.
Yes.
But it's going to come back, and already 3 minutes they're going to fight again.
He started to fight for Crunch, but he gets pushed back very easily. Just be able to get out of there. But on dual side, Ray has to blink out, but they're not letting him go whatsoever. They want the kill. They're not even focused on ATG. But now that he's alone
Mercy's
in there,
coming.
He's trying to avoid using the blink, but Mercy's there to help out, and that is Vapa with no mana to speak of. So does Mancu. This might be a easy possible double kill, but no, Calypto is back again to help out, but Vapa's down already. It's too late. But it might not be too late for Calypto to get a kill secure. He has to blink for that, but he gets it anyway. AZG, you should have kept running, man. You should have kept running because Calypto's on your tail. You have no man to fight back with. And that, oh, the blink! Barely gets out. Calypto, oh! The power pole extends all the way to take out Drongo just now, but Ray's back again, trying to get Calypto too. He doesn't seem to have enough power yet, since it's only 4 minutes in, and that was chaotic just now.
Look, I know that Pacewar has multiple members from NA, but I didn't realize we were going to be watching an NA game. There is going to be so much fighting, apparently. 7 kills in 4 minutes. Calipito, I mean, he was behind. He lost the first blood to Mercy, but he suddenly just got 3 kills out of nowhere. This Wukong is very much ready to carry this game. Level 4 to level 4 in the junglers. Not going to have that much experience difference because they haven't really been farming. They've more been trying to murder everyone on the enemy team.
Yeah, this is more the games that I'm used to, man. NA, stand up. Let me see some NA in the chat, because this is how our games are. They're chaotic. They're a bloodbath. It's already 3 to 4 minutes in. Looking to pick up the pace for sure. Fangtooth is up. They're trying to maybe position themselves at some point, but for right now, Mercy's on his red side trying to clear that. Just stay up in XP, get a little 6, so that he can re-crunch and all the way home, pretty much.
I am looking at ATG's farm right now. It's not great. Mercy's isn't brilliant either. In that 30 range, you really want to be at least in those high 40s, maybe low 50s at this point in time, as B certified is around that point. So their farm has suffered from these fights, but once again, Calipito now around knowing that the Fangtooth is going to be the main objectives to go for at the moment, but it's going to be spotted out on a ward. Roth and Mancu going into the darkness, trying to make sure that Pacewar aren't exactly sure what is going on. We see Ray checking because of that, but instead, knowing that with Calipito nearby, they can just keep pushing down this wave.
Yeah, just really no contest over on duo. Is forming is not there yet, but they are looking to do that at some point soon. Calypto going over to his blue side instead. They maybe just know that it's not going to happen, so it's not going to happen yet. So there's no real rush to get on the Fangtooth. But if you ask me, the earlier you get it, the more you have. You know, the more opportunity that you have, the more up you are. Because the buffs impact the game a whole lot more than we initially thought. And Mercy's on it, and this is going to be free if you ask me.
It should be free. Calapitos on the other side. Monga with Mercy should be more than enough damage having that level 7 gadget. Mercy isn't level 6, but isn't going to be too much of this, especially with the fact that 4 people are here. We got the rest of Batch 2 coming over here. They might get a team fight.
Maybe the Fangtooth is down, but there are pretty low people in there. Mankyu's looking to get a pick, and who's that in there? Oh, never mind, because Monga wastes his blink, but for a good reason, to secure his escape, and no one gets put down in that team fight. Free Fangtooth, just like I said.
Hator is definitely going to take that for granted, and I mean, for Blink, it's definitely not bad whatsoever, though there was no real pressing in from anyone else, so they didn't even lose any plates either. Smart is going to have a bit of advantage, but it's going to be able to do a plate because we can see that the Krang has returned. We got that, we have got the Krang returning. Mercy, once again, coming into the mid lane.
Pushing Iggy into the tower, but it's to no avail. He blinks, he ultimates, and he gets out of there. That was a close call. If he didn't have that blink, imagine the damage that we were just seeing, the domination that Mercy would be starting on, who might just get it started sooner or later.
I do love Mercy using that double punch in power, knowing that he could push Brandon Knight into the tower instead of using the knock-up, because it was just so much more extra damage. The Blink used, the ultimate used to make sure that any sort of engage was going to be thrown back. So that is definitely going to be a repeat gank that Mercy wants to return to. Nice pull coming in from Ray. Manky going low, has got the shrapnel cannon if he wants to use it. Manky forced to blink away before that is used up, so that's going to be a good amount of pressure for the side of Page 4 in this duo lane. And right now in this early game, they are 1 kill behind, but they have the momentum.
They have momentum, but it isn't. I'm not sure if it's just me. I don't really feel the tide changing really. It's more or less we're getting little skirmishes like right here at mid lane with Mercy trying to take out the Iggy because oh my god, he got the uppercut up. That's called a Shoryuken if you ask me. I'm surprised he was able to hit that, but he dashes out because, you know, not the health really, but they go back in with the uppercut again on Calypto. He blinks out, barely getting out of harm's way because Iggy's coming back with some vengeance along with Manky over from dual lane. But wow, these little skirmishes that we're having, no one's dying, but we're just making a statement here.
No, apparently everyone has a blink on 2 minutes cooldown. B Certified gets the solo kill under the tower against Smart. We're not sure how that happened, but again, the Krang is just been so strong in these games, just so useful, and we've shown why he's such high priority right now. Getting maybe caught is going to use the medicine wise to just walk away, have that extra 25% damage reduction whilst it's being sounded as well. Means he isn't taking that much damage. ATC Sneaky, it's not doing great in this game. Still hasn't got that Lightning Hawk online, but Vopper still hasn't got the Plasma Blade either. So this game, it isn't really an ADC game, Cosmic, I feel like.
Yeah, they're not. Okay, they're impactful. The ACs are definitely impactful in these team fights for sure. Right now, we're 9 minutes in. They're just not very active. It's all jungler, really. All jungler, all mid, and off lane as well in these fights. But that doesn't mean that they won't ever turn on. But oh, that got turned off for sure. Smart with the ultimate. The Blizzard gets denied. Everybody has their coats on still. They're not freezing whatsoever, but Mercy is still in there. He's getting fired up, taking out Manky, trying to get a Orb Prime play. The ultimate is down, boom, but if there's just nowhere to really go, Papa's trying to help, but it's not effective enough. The Manky is down, he was gone. There's the ultimate again, but Mercy is down for the count, which means he takes out a jungle first to secure. Everybody's retreating because there's just nowhere to go. This is all a L team fight right here. Ray barely gets out alive, and Manga, come on now, Falcon. Gadget is cooking this game. Maybe not last game, but this game for sure.
It's still going. B Certified gets a kill on Brandon Knight. That's going to be... I don't know how many kills on either side. Both teams took multiple kills. Ray surviving there is insane to me. Just needed to be hit once. I think it was about 68 HP on that Morn. And I'm going to say, Morn too tanky. I said it at the start. That's what I mean. He has no right to survive there as he did, but the mini farm is not the main objective now. Bounty number 2 has now spawned. Page 4 is there at the perfect time. Bad Stew nowhere to be found.
Yeah, they're just not in a great position to even contest this whatsoever. That is completely gone. They're focusing on other things, like going for the mini farm. I think Page 4 realized that that's what they're going to do, so they're steadily rotating over. Calypto is on it first with Smart, trying to burn as much as possible while the team holds off Page 4, but Certified is there. He sees it. He's relayed the information. Mercy's right there too, as the rest of the team has them in mid lane. It's going to be a 2v2 in the pit right here. Who are they going to go for? It could be anyone's guess, but oh my goodness, Page 4 with the steal, and that is the mini prime gone.
That's the mini prime given over most likely to Mercy. He does not miss those hunts, and now you got a 4-man grouping coming in from Page 4 into the mid lane, but Mercy just dies.
Mercy, there he goes, back into the shadow room he goes. What a mid-lane skirmish that just popped off out of nowhere. They were trying to make use of it, and Mercy did in fact not, as he dies with the mini orb.
Well, that mini farm lasted for 30 seconds. Congratulations, Page 4, on that. At least they made sure that Bad Stew does not have it. But still, all towers up from both teams. This game has not been about towers whatsoever. It is about kills, it is about murder, and it is about objectives. And towers do not come into that whatsoever. Now, death time is getting a bit longer, though, coming up to 13 minutes. It might be a bit more of a priority, especially the fact that there is a lot of standing going for both teams. And looking at the tower HPs, most of them haven't really been touched. The only one that is sizable from both sides is the mid lane from Page 4 and the off lane from Bad Stew. So I imagine that's where both teams are going to try and focus their attacks.
Yeah, we have NA players, but you know, it's still an EU-based game pretty much. The towers not really affected right there, so there's not a big concern on really prioritizing them and keeping them up as well. But definitely focusing on getting the objectives is important and key to the gameplay overall, because you know, all the buffs and stuff like that, that's going to be benefited from the team who gets it. But yeah, it's just still very slow. Slow and steady, but chaotic. It's still a bloodbath, that's for sure.
It has been, but it has also calmed down. Never mind, Mercy's tower diving.
Mercy's tower diving, never mind. Pushing it out. No blink, but there is a stasis, but it's just not gonna. Oh, he blinks out. You're right. Everybody has a blink at 2 minutes. It feels like, for sure. Everything's happening. There's a blink popping up everywhere. Cryosystem is up, slowing down the team. They're pushing all the way to the T2. It seems like they're trying to cut them up at the seams. Mercy's at the mercy of the team. Can't really do anything at this point. Towers still up. Blinks are flying everywhere. Smart. The towers are up. Smart. He gets killed by the tower, getting the confirm. And one for 2. I think that's a win for Page 4.
Bad Stew just went way too aggressive. They don't have the coverage. They don't have the tower down. The tower killed both of them. Took one shot at Calipito, went down. Took one shot at Smart, also went down. I don't know how that missed ATG, but that is unfortunate. They are going to be able to at least take the tower with everyone being forced to reset from Page 4. That's going to be the first tower taken in this game, given over to Brand Knight for that money. But this should go down relatively quickly as well. Same with this off-lane tower. Those rad rounds will shred those enemy towers when they go off. Fopper is here, as well as the rest of Bad Stew. You need to run.
Definitely need to run, because it is about to go down over there. Spear bomb from downtown hits on ATG. He's still alive, though. Not really in danger anymore. Ray's going to be there to help him. The team is rotating over, and it's going to be another fight. We just got out of one, but here's another one for you, or at least a little skirmish again. This kid's getting chaotic, man. It's going to be a bloodbath sooner or later. They seem welcome to chose violence, is what chat said just now. They're trying to push this tower. It's on the edge of it, like on the... is barely on his feet right now, so it isn't a free tower to go to group up and just take down, just for the sake of just taking it out.
Yes. Should be pretty easy to be certified as well, coming over just in case anything else happens is going to reset. Ray is in the enemy zone. Calipito is beating him with a stick, but is going to be able to probably walk away and pulls him into the rest of the team.
He's in the gas. He has no ability right now, but team... Bad Stew has a lot of health. They're trying to push the team back, hopefully thinking he's going to get caught off guard. thunked out of nowhere. They're not in. I think Badu, they're gonna position themselves for the next Fangtooth while Page 4 is low on health.
Yeah, Phase 4 has that 2 Fangtooths. They want to really get this third one, but they haven't really got HP bars. Everyone is about half HP. There's so much damage coming in from Badu. It's going to go down. Go for the steal. Stealed!
What? Mercy come out of nowhere, stole the Fangtooth, just like how he stole the mini orb. The fight's happening in the pit. Calypso is low. He's trying to get out of there. Skywalking, he blinks for sure. Certified gets the kill on Vappa. The team is going down one by one. Even though they had low health, they dove in anyway for a distraction as Page 4 gets the steal and run with it.
They're still going as well. Bandit trying to chase away. Q is there as well. There's no hate mana from the Morn. That is going to be followed up. Be Certified is still nearby. Does get the Terror. Isn't going to follow through on that. It is going to be a 3 for 2 in terms of kills for Badu. But Mercy, he got another steal in this game. And I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to confirm with production. I believe he's playing on ping. I believe this is based in EU because we are the EU draft league. Right. So he's doing this on around 100 ping, which is just mind-boggling to a mere mortal like myself. But now Minifime has started. Badu and Badu is going to be on it. Calipito, Vopper, Smart, Manku, and Vandalite all over here, and that is going to be secured. At least no mercy in sight.
He had no mercy in sight, because if he wasn't even close to it, we all know it's probably going to happen again. Another steal. But they secure Mini Prime. That's going to put Page 4 at least on edge for a little bit. Sneaky getting bullied by Wukong over here. But he got the rat routes. He's trying to leave. Calypso, you should really leave with that Mini Prime. Don't want to die like how Mercy did before. But the team fight over there. Manga's down for the count. The Tesla Dome is up. They're back into it. Fights everywhere. The Mesmerize, the Clash Pain Boom is a bloodbath over there entirely as Page 4 loses member by member by member. But also don't forget Badu, they're losing people too. They just lost more just now in the fight, in the hectic, and the fight does not stop. It feels like Falcon.
It never stops. It never needs to stop with these two teams. 2 for 1 at the end of the day. Badu getting the advantage once again. Manku getting a great crash bang boom onto multiple members, able to keep the rest of his team alive. And the later this game goes, the stronger that Narbas is going to become, and is going to become a sizable issue for the side of Page 4, especially with that ultimate, because it is just going to do quite a sizable amount of damage, unsurprisingly, as well as that CC. Plus the fact that he's got a True Silver Bracelet already unlocked, so he's going to have that CC immunity whilst that is being channeled as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with it. I do think there's a lot of tools for Page 4 to deal with it. They have a lot of CC on their picks, but they need to make sure that does not go off.
Picks are very important at this stage of the game. Oh, what a pull! It's getting hairy. I tell you what, Falcon, it's getting hairy. Iggy started to come online, I believe, at this point in time with the Megacosm and whatever items else he has. Which, well, Megacosm is just the premier item to have. But it's getting hairy. They're trying to position themselves, trying to find a pick. They're warding endlessly, as you can see on the mini map right there. The more information you see, the better decision making that you can have, for sure.
We are coming up to 20 minutes on the clock. That is going to be the Orb Prime spawning. Neither team really looking for an end. There's still so many towers on both sides that even with an Orb Prime push, I don't think you're really going to be looking for an end unless you get a team wipe. So we are going to be in for a bit of a slog still, Cosmic. I still think we're going to be at least another 10 minutes in this game before we see who is going to be the victor. Page 4, they definitely have the advantage though, not just in kills, but it is going to be those 3 Fangtooths. Such a strong buff in this patch, and it's very rare that we see right now that a team loses the game with 3 Fangtooths.
Losing game 3 Fangtooth. I've seen it a good bit, but I've also seen that we have another fight in the middle. The Tesla Dome is up, the microwave is cooking, but out goes Ray. Mercy's still alive though, trying to box the Iggy, who needs to be out of there. Just a lot of HP gone when the Iggy's involved. But there's a blade, there's 2 blades in fact, trying to get Calypso to try to stun him, but he's in the sky, he's pretty much gone. Mercy's by himself in enemy territory, and then what can you do at this point but just continue to punch on? He really wants Calypso, but he survives to live another day, and down goes Mercy for the count.
That's 3 kills. Badu they can reset. They can maybe look for this orb climb. I mean, Ray has just respawned, but there's no jungler for another 30 seconds. They have a jungler available for no cells. They only have lost the Narbas. There is plenty of damage on the likes of this Iggy and on this Scarlet to burn this objective down. The question is, what can Page 4 do to stop it? What can this Krang, what can this gadget do to slow this down for the rest of his team? The All Prime has been started. 4 people in the pit. Mankey coming in for number 5, and there's not much opposition in response.
There's not much they can do, Falcon. They have a Wukong who has clones. They have an Iggy. There's a lot of damage output on them. The whole team is there to secure this, and with no mercy, no steals gonna happen. They get another Orb Prime, and they need to just either fight this out or retreat, get back, get their bearings, and try to go for Fangtooth. I think it's up right now. I'm not really sure if it's updated or not, but that's just the smart thing to do at this point.
Certainly is. And saying about smart, I just realised something.
What's up?
Manq hasn't built 2 silver bracelets. He's built Golden's Gift, which is a choice of all things as Page 4 takes the tier 1 tower. I don't think Page 4 realised they're the ones without the All-Fine buff as they're walking forward there, but that seems to be the case as Calamito. Yeah, that's why you don't walk forward against that.
You don't walk forward in general. You're not positioned well right now, and that's what led to your demise. The team is fighting. Merch trying to get out of there to live another day, but the team is they're stuck in it. There's crash, bang, boom from Narbash, the Aurora with the Cryosysm. There's just so much CC on the team that they can't seem to get out of it. And not even to mention Iggy and Wukong with the dot damage and the turrets and all that kind of stuff. The fire. It's just not a good look. And it's going to be a Fangtooth with little to any resistance at all.
Mercy is around, but he's half HP. He can't really look for any sort of steal. Hasn't got a clue what a HP is. Hold on.
Hold on. He got it! Oh, you gotta be kidding me! Mercy steals another Fangtooth. He had half health, but that didn't stop him. He does it again. He's what, 4 for 4 for steals? Like, come on.
This is when I'd normally provide something informative or helpful. Mercy's just a beast. Mercy is just absolutely cracked, and there is nothing we can say or do against that because that was blind. He was half HP. He went into 3k, nearly perfectly timed, and somehow wasn't stunned at the 1k mark against the likes of a Bad Stew who has multiple different stuns. He's basically saved the game for Page 4 right now. There's not many members with this Primal Fangtooth buff, but it means that Bad Stew doesn't have it, and that is the important part.
A buff Bad Stew doesn't have is a buff Page 4 can use to their advantage, even if they all don't have it. Certified has it for sure, as his T1 is still up 24 minutes of the game. Do you know how rare this is to have your T1 up this long into the game? It's rare. Ray is trying to invade, just put some more pressure on Clifton, trying to save Mercy his jungle so that he can still be up, so he can be Superman and save the day countless times before. The plan for Bad Stew is to just either catch Page 4 off guard in the jungle, doing whatever, or just to wait it out again and go for another objective.
I think that latter is definitely going to be the case here. There's no real way that the side of Badge 2 is going to go for another push, especially the fact that they're all prime has dropped. They don't have a first Fangtooth. They don't have that 50% increased buff time. So this all prime does not last that long for them. They really need to make sure that they can pick up another one. But they also need to win a team fight before that happens, and they have to wait for the Primal Fangtooth to go away, especially on B certified. This Krang is going to do a lot of damage. I think he's the only member of Page 4 with the buff, but it's still going to be a potent threat.
You actually just talked something just now, Falcon. I did not know that the buff from Fangtooth that applies to Orb Prime. I thought it applies to the River Camps, but you just taught me a whole new thing. And you're right. They don't have enough time. It might be gone already. I can't really tell. But the Orb Prime is just an objective that needs to get done, to set up the teams, either team by the way, for success in this game, as they're just playing safe. They're not doing anything too risky per se. It's just a waiting game now.
It is a waiting game. This is going to be the bit of a roaring part, so hopefully Mercy finds another tower to tower dive eventually, but it's going to be resetting instead. And I mean, look at Brandon. He's 4-2 and 10. He's got a lot of farm at the moment. 243 farm. 4 items online. He's got that dream binder. He's going to have that slow that is going to be taken, that is going to be used from the touch as well, so that's going to make Page Force's life even worse. I don't know if Ray has got what crest he has. He has got the Lee Song, which is going to nullify that entirely. I was assuming that he would have picked that up. Very strong against the likes of Iggy, especially with all of those slows. And I mean, we're just kind of chatting here, Cosmic. We're just kind of chilling.
Yeah.
The rest of the teams are chilling. They're farming. They got some items. They got some money. These minions, they're poor. They're dying. Like, it's just tragic, really.
And you just had to jinx us, man. We were chilling for 2 seconds, but now Merc's trying to get active, okay? Trying to get smart the way. There's the root. Trying to get out of it because they're not ready to engage. They're at least waiting for the team to pull up, which is somewhat happening. But I think Mercy is seeing it, and they're going to retreat. 4 Prime must be coming up soon. Because this grouping is unnatural. There it is.
Yeah, very, very soon. They haven't really got either set up from either side. Some Iggy turrets are around the area. There's plenty of wards from both teams as well. But neither team can just start it. Neither team can just say, let's just go for the prime and go for a flip. I mean, I guess Page 4 can because they know that Mercy is on the ball with those slays. But Batsu has to be a bit more cautious, a bit more patient. And basically, we're going to have to wait for some sort of pick to come through. Be certified. Bit on his lone save way, so they have to be careful at this point in time. Even though they have got quite a few tanky items, the damage coming through from these carries is going to be more than enough to kill them.
Yeah, they're positioning themselves right, Batsu. They really, really need a buff right now. They need some kind of pick as well, but they're just Page 4. They're not positioning themselves. They're positioning themselves really well. Make sure that ATG's in the bag, that he's safe and that he's secure, because they're going to need his damage. Even though he hasn't been very active in this game, they're going to need him regardless. They need all hands on deck for this one. We see Certified trying to bait out Smart for a potential fight and pick, but he's out of place. The team is not really near him. He is getting rooted. He's in the business right now. Falcon, he blinks out into the team, but the fight continues on.
Blink?
Everybody has blink, Ray. They were chilling for a really long time, man. Everybody's blinking out. They're using it. They don't want to die. It's a very crucial point in the game. No, like really, everybody's blinking. Mercy's back in the fight. He's trying to start something with Smart, with Calypto, but the crisis is up. They're all losing health right now, but no one's dying except for ATG. You stick around, man, and down goes Ray to follow up. It is not looking good. This might be a free pick into an Ore Prime.
I think I just heard like 10 blinks go off. I don't know if anyone has it alive. I assume there's a few. But overall, Badge2 wins that team fight. Be Certified went down too low at the start, weren't able to really help the rest of his team. And then once that happened, Vopper and Ray, they got to dove pretty badly. Oh, sorry, ATG and Ray got dove pretty badly. But the rest of the team, the All Prime has been secured. Mercy is going to be back. Same with Be Certified. They're going to try and get some extra kills. But it does look like with the help of the Narbas March, the rest of the team is going to get away. Calipito is doing Wukong things. Mercy is trying to follow though.
He's trying to follow, but Wukong has so many means to escape. Mercy tries to forward crunch, but he gets pushed back with the power pole. And I saw Mercy come. I was like, is he going to do it again? Is Mercy going to come back and steal another major objective? But no, not this time around. But Badge2, they keep the orb, but the plan is to definitely try to go for Primal with the buff and get it this time. And after that, they could probably push me either mid or left lane, who knows, to try to get an inhib down or maybe even in the game itself.
Over 30 minutes, the death timers for anyone is going to be exceedingly long, hitting that minute mark. So a death is going to be so important for the enemy team. Any sort of kill is going to be helpful. And I understand Badge2's hesitance to start this. They haven't really had the best luck with Fangtooth in this game so far. I'm putting it lightly. The side of Mercy, and even with the All Prime, they'd have to be careful. They know that there's still quite a bit of damage from Page 4. There's still quite a few items on these carries, especially this gadget can rip through the front line if it does get hit. Morn is using the ultimate.
The Eclipse is up, they can't see, and it looks like Smart is caught out of place. They're trying to pick somebody off. Any pick is a good pick if you ask me. Probably, preferably Iggy or Calypto, who knows, but Mancu, this smash bang, boom, knock it up. ATG, you're out of place and you're down once again. There's no ADC for page 4. This is not the time to be out of place and not aligned, just losing. They have Orb Prime and they're looking to get a Fang Tooth right here.
ATG, I think he was fighting Vandalite. Vandalite was so low at the end of that team fight, but wasn't able to be helped by the rest of his team and was completely collapsed on Bad Stu. They're going to go back in.
Back in, the Crisis is trying to get Ray out, but he's out of there too. If we look over to the left, Mercy is living with a sliver of health left. He's on fire. He's out of really bounds, and there's no way for him to even steal this time because they knew to focus him. It is going to be a free Fang Tooth for Bad Stu.
They're going to take tier 2 in return, but that is going to be an easy Fang Tooth. First Fang Tooth for Bats 2 in this game. They finally get one. Get that enhanced recalls, get back quickly, make sure those inhibitors are still alive. Now, they need to push, they need to use this advantage. There's still tier 1 towers up for page 4. That offlane tower is still alive, which is just ridiculous at 32 minutes in the game. I've never seen a tower survive for that long. But these inhibitors might be able to go down. Is something that is going to be very time sensitive. But they can't spend too long chasing these kills. They need to make sure they use this Orb Prime buff with these enhanced minions as fast as possible.
Oh man, what is there to say? I mean, you're right, the T1 is still up. That's got to be a little bit embarrassing at least. Bad Stu, they did lose the mid lane tower. There's 2 inhibs that could possibly get pushed, but it won't be anytime soon. Okay. I think he just gave up the T1 just now because there's no point really. The statement is done. They took forever to just even get this 1 tower left. They haven't been winning team fights that often, and right now we're in the calm phase, I believe.
Are we? Because Prime was still up for them as a buff. All Prime has one off. They haven't got the enhanced minions. It is going to be rather easy for page 4 to clear these waves, especially with the gadget. But if they do start split pushing, if they still cause page 4 to start splitting up, then it's going to be a bit more of an issue. Right now, though, tier 2s are still being defended pretty well from the side of page 4. Batsu not really able to look for any sort of advantage, not able to look for any sort of seeds because these minions are just dying immediately.
With the primal buff and the Iggy and Scorch and Mancu, the Mesmerize, it's gonna be an easy push. They might even push tower. This honestly might be a time to go die for a possible kill on maybe be certified or ATG, who keeps poking his head. He's on fire now. Hold that Molotov cocktail, buddy. But yeah, you're right. This match is not a calm period, but it's a leading up to it. Certified looking like Batman on top of the rope, just trying to get a view of just what's happening on the field as we're all just getting our bears together, waiting for the primal buff to go away and setting up for the next Fang Tooth. So we're taking jungle, we're taking farm. We need to be up on gold. We need to get as strong as possible because we're in the 35-minute mark. All right, it is important right now.
Who lied to me that games are faster nowadays? Because this is definitely not the case. We saw an NA in the early game. We saw a bloodbath. It's still 16 and 21 in kills. It's still plenty of kills on both sides. But neither team really wants to look for an end. It looks like they want to get a bit more fighting happening. And with that prime more buff gone, that is going to be the end of the advantage for the side of Bad Stu. They have got that first buff at least, so the Orb Prime is going to last longer if they get it this time around. But this is the 3rd Orb Prime already being contested from both teams. This is how late in the game we have gotten to, and it is just down to one team fight. One team fight will end the game from either side. If it is clean, if there is multiple people dead, then it's going to be 70-second or plus death timers, and that is undefendable.
Yeah, just one more fight and it'll be history. Is starting off Mercy, not sure what he was thinking as he's almost deleted. Spirit Bomb misses.
The Testadome though.
The Testadome is up. There are people who are low for sure, like Smart, and it's a skirmish, but they're looking to just not even risk it this time. They're just looking to regroup, recycle, and try it again, honestly, which is very smart for them.
So many people were low there. Mercy able to reset. Smart most likely going to be resetting himself, but instead looks like he's just going to let ManQ heal him up. The Narbas are doing so much work in these in between team fights, and I mean, I want to see how much healing ManQ does by the end of this game, because it's probably in the tens of thousands at this point in time. Be certified looking for maybe an engage. Like nearly getting caught. Blink, because everyone has a blink in this game.
Everybody has a blink, man. Yeah, you're. No, the amount of blinks I've seen in this game alone is probably the most I've seen in a long time. But they're much needed. If they're team fighting blinks that have to pop off for a certain amount of people to keep the game alive, and that's why we've been here for 36 minutes. It's because of all the blinks that's happening, the well-placed blinks, or just the inadvisable blinks, if you ask me, by some people. Or the fame team is up, both buffs are up, and they're looking to position themselves. Page 4 are trying to get around Bad Stu to try to get some kind of cleanup, but
Smart
Mercy still trying to catch up the Aurora first. That's another blink. It's another blink.
Stop blinking! Just get a kill, please!
Stop blinking! Fight or die! That's the same model that Mercy's on. He's going all in the paint. The Tesla Dome is up, but no one's in there to get cooking as he is being burned steadily. Ray and Certified are in the fight, trying to push him all the way back into it. Ray trying to heal as much as possible, but Narbash heals way too much. People are starting to drop like flies. Ray's down. Sneaky's by himself. He blinks too, because he got to blink as well. Might as well. Certified's down. Certified's not down. He's low. ATG is for sure down and out. He's in another realm chilling right now. As, oh my god, Mercy is still alive in the cut. Trying to get Clipto. He blinks too, because why not? Certified is down. Mercy's down. And everybody but Manga is down for the count. And that's going to be essentially, realistically, free or pro.
Don't be shy.
Is it? Yeah, I guess so. Ray's got 40 seconds. They could maybe look for an end after taking this. They have a jungler. This will go down within seconds, especially with Whopper and Brandonite alive. And it was just a case that Mercy went too deep. The rest of the team wasn't able to support him, even with the darkness coming in from Ray. It wasn't enough. The damage was just more than enough, and Calipito was staying alive for such a long time on page 4's backline. It meant that it wasn't able to do anything. They weren't able to try and kill Whopper, try and kill ManQ, and then with the excess healing coming in from this Narbas, it meant that they finally got a clean team fight. We're on the final round 2. There's still 3 people dead from page 4. I would have liked them to try and end, because this game is going to go for 40 minutes this rate, but they are just making sure that there is no possible chance for page 4 to come back into this game.
Yeah, we can't say that games go by quick anymore, at least for EU standards. The Americans, we just play a little bit too fast, too reckless, honestly. But you're right. This is going to be a push on the right lane. Everybody's all grouped up. They're looking to end the game hopefully soon. Mercy, I think Mercy he's having the issue where he's the main engager, but he also is much needed for these objectives. And so if he's down, it's pretty much out from page 4 of the crew. As they're trying to defend this inhib right now, it's not a good look. They're double buffed. They're trying to get something out of it, something meaningful out of it. But page 4, they're going to definitely have to play the best defense possible.
Yeah, first inhibitors should be going down relatively easily. Whopper, Brand like ManQ getting it down. The rest of page 4 is trying to go for it. They're going to try and go for the engage.
Mercy, again, like I said, being the initiator of that. He's trying to make some noise, but the team is lacking behind him right now. He's by himself in no man's lane, trying to push the team away, but he is taken it down by Calypto again. No jungler. Doesn't really matter at this point anyway. Manga is getting off picks. A sticky grenade, or a sticky bomb. Have a hat, bro. Certified's down for the count as well. The team is being pushed back. They're losing people little by little. It's only just Manga and Ray to defend the tower, and there's just not enough output from the two of them to hold it. And I think we are looking at the end of the game.
I hope they're gonna end this. 4 people still alive. They have got the buff still. Minions aren't really here. Mid minions are now coming over there. They have got ManQ Calipito doing it. Whopper trying to deal with the other wave. Smart dealing with the duo lane. This is going to be the next push coming through. All 5 minions still alive. Monga still alive. Ray still alive.
The only hope is a Testadome to take out all the minions, but even then, I still believe with the Narbash with Mankey right there, the healing Calypto is just gonna hit the core, and that is game. Bad Stu picks up a win, leaving page 4 winless.
That was a 40-minute game. I'm dead. Hi. I can't.
You can't?
Everything is gone. Everything is gone. But,
you don't got anything else?
and again, in actual sense, though, that was such a banger of a game that went back and forth so many times. And overall, I mean, impressed by both teams. Page 4, realistically, Mercy himself deserves that win. He got so much done for his team. He got so much work done with those steals. And I mean, what else do you say apart from just an absolute banger? Thank you both teams for putting that on, because I at least was thoroughly entertained.
Oh, I hope the chat was too. For a 40-minute banger, there was a lot going on at various points in the game. Mercy stealing like 5 objectives, but all that just to lose? I know he's kicking rocks for sure, because I know I would be. All right, we were popping off of those steals, man. It was so often. It was like, is he gonna do it this time? And then he does. He was Superman. But even Superman has his weaknesses, his kryptonites, and the team of Bad Stu was a kryptonite for sure.
That is 100%. And I mean, it wasn't just a single player playing well. It wasn't the case where we saw in the previous game where Neff just popped off. Every single player on the side of Bad Stu had. It's been a long 40 minutes.
It's okay. Take your time.
But every single player on the side of Bad Stu played their part. Mancu had an amazing amount of heals, but did so much work with his ultimates as well. Bopper did great amount of damage. Brandon Knight basically making everyone's lives on page 4's hell with that Dream Binder Iggy. Calipito diving on the back lines, and even with the help of Sneak as well. So a great play from them. I don't know if I can pick an MVP. I'm going to be honest, Cosmic.
Yeah, this reminds me, again, for all my Americans, this is like the 2000 Spurs, where it was a team game start and finish. There was no real like outliers there, but the team came together. They sticked around. They played right. They while the first half of the game, it was really tough, okay, because they kept losing the Faintus. But man, the scaling of the team of Bad Stu, it got high, and it came to a point where in these team fights, man, Mercy is initiating, but he's not really getting the help that he needs, especially with ATG being in the back. He's getting dove on, it feels like, constantly by Wukong, by Calypto. Just no real way for him to get his damage out, because I don't think I've seen a single shrapnel cannon in that game, man. They were just picking them off one by one. But we decided that Brandon Knight, who's the Iggy, is going to be the MVP of the game.
Yeah, had 6.33 KDA in a bloodthirsty game like that. Did so much damage. Was basically untouched in a lot of these team fights, just playing from so far back, and wasn't really that much of a presence, but was able to stay alive, stay consistent, and that caused so much chaos for the side of page 4. Again, I think that every single player has some sort of reasoning for MVP, but Brandon Knight is definitely going to be the one for that game.
Yeah, for sure. Brandon Knight was definitely he's like a sneaky MVP, where you didn't see him do anything too crazy. He didn't have like an ace or a quadruple, but his damage output was noticed. His structure damage was noticed. The amount of gold he had, he was up. We just didn't notice it, and you can't give MVP to the loser of a team. You just can't do that. That's not how that works. Most valuable player, he was valuable. He had so much Faintus, but it's all about who wins the game, and Mercy could not carry his team to victory this time.
Yeah, that is the case, but we have still got more games to come. We have the round 5, the final round of today. Group A still has games to play. Group B still has games to play. We have no idea who is actually going to be secured for tomorrow. But for now, that was me, Falcon. That was Cosmic. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for watching that banger, and good luck for the next games.
Good luck.